Notes from Greenelsh, number 40. Give up everything to gain life's treasure. When my grandmother passed away a few years ago, we held several garage sales to find new homes for her belongings, which didn't go to family members. Some customers at the garage sales were just looking as a hobby and pastime, and some shopped with the intent to resell items. But a few people hunted for treasure, and when they found one or two things that would benefit them, they were well pleased, and we were happy to know that they truly valued what they bought. You are a treasure to God, proved by how He made you and how He sacrificed to save you. Yet you'll only enjoy the fullness of His treasuring as you respond to Him in faith through Jesus. I know the fall of humankind and the gospel is probably familiar to you, but bear with me as I briefly review it. Before the foundation of the world, God desired to share the beautiful love He enjoyed within Himself, the three persons of His triune nature, Father, Son, and Spirit. So He made man and woman, but He crafted them more specially than all the rest of creation. He made them in His image and gave them a body, a soul, and a spirit. They were to fellowship with Him and bear His likeness in who they were and what they did as they populated and cared for the earth and each other. They were a treasure to God, and He was to them. Tragically, this didn't last. Soon Adam and Eve no longer treasured God. They disobeyed Him and chose to put their own desires above His, bringing spiritual death to them and a corruption to all of creation. Fortunately, God still treasured humankind and His creation. He provided a way to restore them. He gave Jesus to live the life people should live and die the death that we deserve. In so doing, Jesus has made a way for anyone to be reunited with God and saved from self-destruction. Although this treasure of salvation is available to all, it's only experienced by those who accept Jesus by faith. Jesus taught all of this in a number of ways during His ministry on earth. Many times He used a parable, which is a simple story told in familiar terms to describe a deeper spiritual truth. Here is a summary of 3 stories from Luke chapter 15, which illustrate how much God treasures you. 1. God is like a shepherd who goes to great lengths to find and rescue a lost sheep. Quote, "And when He, the shepherd, comes home, He calls together His friends and His neighbors, saying to them, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep that was lost.' Just so, I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who need no repentance." End quote. Parable number 2. God is like a woman who lost a precious coin from her wedding headdress. She searched the entire house until she found it. Quote, "And when she finds it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found the coin that I lost.' Just so, I tell you, that there is joy before the angels of God over one sinner who repents." End quote. And parable number 3. God is like a father who had 2 sons. The younger son despised his father and disrespected him, demanding an immediate inheritance even though his father was still alive. His father granted his wish. The son squandered his wealth and became so destitute he decided to try and return to his father, apologize, and beg to be received as a mere servant, knowing he didn't deserve to be a son. When the son was far off, the father who had been watching for him every day ran to him, embraced him, forgave him, threw a party for him, and restored him as a son. Wow, God truly does treasure you and me. Yet, if the dishonorable son had not returned, he would have never benefited and been reconciled to his father, who still loved him and was waiting to forgive and receive him. Jesus highlighted this in 2 other parables in Matthew chapter 13. Quote, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field which a man found and covered up. Then in his joy he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls, who, on finding one pearl of great value, went and sold all that he had and bought it." End quote. The kingdom of heaven, living in a loving relationship with God, who is the King of all kings, requires action. It is worth whatever it cost us. We gain much more than we ever lose. One enters God's kingdom and returns to God through Jesus by faith. Faith is described in Hebrews chapter 11 as the substantiating of things hoped for and the evidence of things not yet seen. Only as you put your faith in Jesus, making him your precious treasure, do the reality and blessing of knowing God become real and tangible in your life. This has been my main prayer for you, that you wouldn't just know about God or agree that he exists, but that you would come to deeply understand his incredible love for you, and that your primary desire and greatest joy every day would be to love him and serve him in return. Jesus put it this way, quote, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." End quote. Put your hope, loyalty, trust, and obedience in Jesus. And not only will you experience the treasure of God's abundant life now, but you'll be investing in what he has for you in the future.